You would think that millionaires track all sorts of data and equations and have this complex arrangement of numbers that make them rich and keep them rich. But it's not true. Most millionaires only track these four numbers that I want to share with you today. That's right, no crazy spreadsheets or complex formulas. Just these four numbers that we're going to discuss today is really all that they track intently. So number one is your fixed cost. These are things such as rent, mortgage, or whatever the heck it costs you for housing. They track their utilities, transportation costs, your cars. Obviously, some rich folks have multiple cars, right? They do track how much that's costing them, how much coming in, how much is going out for those particular vehicles. Obviously, groceries, debt payments, subscriptions, all those sort of things like that. A lot of those folks track them. Now, they may not care what those numbers are. I've seen that a lot, but I have yet to run across a single millionaire who just kind of goes, oh yeah, I make a lot of money, so I don't really care about how much the subscriptions are costing me. Now, they may not care to the point where they turn off their subscriptions, but they absolutely know what it's costing them because they understand the value of money. But more importantly, they understand the concept of tracking your expenses, right? You can't have money to invest if you're spending every dime that you have. At some point in time in their past, they created that habit of tracking all of the things coming in, all of their basic living expenses, so that the way they can see and invest accordingly. And obviously now they're to a point to where maybe some of those numbers don't matter. Maybe they're okay with letting those balloon, but I can almost guarantee you they know exactly what it costs. Now, it's not across the board 100%. Of course not. You can always point to some celebrity or some, other person who's like, oh, I don't really track that. I don't really look at that. But it's very, very rare. The vast majority of the wealthy folks out there absolutely know those costs. Number two, their savings. Now, I know this is going to sound a little bit odd, but yes, even rich people have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months worth of expenses that they would need to pay out there. They have access to liquid money to cover things in the short term because it's not uncommon for something to happen in your business. We'll say, let's say you own a business, highly profitable. Hey, something comes up to where, there's something happening and maybe you're short for that month. They absolutely can sustain and maintain for their current lifestyle without changing anything for a period of months. They absolutely have an emergency fund there. Now, secondarily, they also have an investment fund. Now, I understand that savings is a little bit different than investing, but just kind of for the concept of this video right here, understand that part of that savings is in that investment fund, right? They are absolutely in tune with their investment fund, what's there, or just how much cash they have to invest at any given time. They absolutely know what that is. They always understood exactly what is saved, not just for emergencies, but also for investments as well. And that goes along with college funds for kids, things of that nature. They know exactly how much they've saved for that, how much those investments have grown in value over time while they're saving for that. And yes, they do actually do things such as save for a down payment on a house as well, especially since obviously some of the wealthier people want to build bigger type houses. Those typically require some bridge financing and some other types of financing. Obviously, down payments can be larger for those type projects because you can't get a traditional mortgage with those type of projects. And so it requires more money down and also having more cash on hand to service that particular loan while the construction is happening. So they absolutely track their savings. And number three, which is their debt. Just like we just talked about with the house, that's a debt. They know exactly what it is. The rich know what all of the debts are, and they work or have eliminated all their bad debt, and they keep their good debt for assets. Bad debt being like credit card debt, debt on a car that's a depreciating asset, things of that nature, and good debt being real estate investments, for example, or if you're going to house hack, obviously using that mortgage to house hack for your house. Those are examples of good debts for your assets, and they know the exact amount that they owe. They know the exact rate that they pay. And if the rates fall, they're the first ones out there refinancing to take advantage of those lower rates. Always shocked at how many people did not take advantage of the 2.5% mortgage, 2.75% mortgage, 3% mortgage that we got just a few years ago. I understand a lot of you guys did, but disproportionately, every single wealthy person I knew refinanced everything during that time. But I have a lot of family members who, struggle month to month, and obviously getting a little bit of relief on their mortgage would be huge. They just didn't do it because, it's hard. They wanted a lot of paperwork. I didn't get time, whatever the case was. That tells me they just really don't understand the debt that they have, and they didn't take it serious enough in order to take action to reduce that debt. And number four, long-term investments. They track their long-term investments. They know what's in their 401k or IRA if they have them. They know exactly what is in their brokerage account, what they're going to buy, what they're going to sell, what their strategy is in there. They absolutely know their real estate investments. What's the market looking like? What are rents looking like? Maybe they're looking at a different asset class to invest in altogether. They're invested in obviously commodities. There's all different types of investments, but they are long-term focused and they absolutely track those investments. So that way they know, are they on track for their goals or not? Do I need to make adjustments to my portfolio? Do I need to make adjustments to my real estate strategy? Does all that actually just align with whatever my future goals are? That's why it's so critical that you track those long-term investments, because in the end, they want financial freedom, which is what they have. And if you're looking to be financially free in as little as 1 year and on as little amount as $300,000, check out the pinned comment down there for the Blacklist Financial Freedom Program, where we go through all that and see if a membership's right for you. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.